Just get to talking. All right, so this is episode 1. Thank you for doing this, Youliang.
Yeah.
But this is going to be about what DJs actually do. So it's really just to highlight, give some feedback to everyone else who's an artist, interested in different cultures, music, and what's going on in these artists' lives too. So today we have,
Youliang.
and so Youliang, if you can just tell us a little bit about yourself and where you're from, music, and anything else you'd like to share, that'd be awesome.
Mm, I'm from Singapore. I came to Japan like 11 years ago, and I joined a cappella back then, and as well as some rock rock band like it's not just playing like drums and all that. So kind of had to I started with music composition back then, like because we had to learn the keys for a cappella. So um learn how to separate the song out by parts. So we have like a couple after the tenor, the alto, the baritone, the bass. So that's how I got my music foundation, whereby you have to take traditional pop song and separate up the parts for different roles that sing the song. And due to that, I started to learn musical arrangement. And after that, I gradually ventured to electronic music production, and now I'm making house music, trance, hard styles, like different styles like this. Depend on YouTube, so I go to YouTube and then I look at tutorials on how to make a certain style, and then I try to copy it, and it takes me maybe a few months to learn one style. And I'm currently still working on my production skills. And but 2 years ago, 2.5, 3 years ago maybe, I decided to promote my music by becoming a DJ. So I started out with going to bars and playing my house music productions in different bars because house music is rather popular in bars in Japan. Um, More so towards the older crowd, like towards the 40s, 50s, they like disco house. So anything with 4 on the floor beat is very popular as long as it's not too fast. So I did that for about half a year or maybe a year, and then I decided that I wanted to go to clubs, but I couldn't. Um, well, there was no specific way to get into clubs back then. So I asked around and I found a DJ school, and I went through the school, and they put me in the club after 2 weeks of going to the school. So it was pretty one of the fastest, they said. And that's how I started becoming a club DJ in Japan.
That's insane. So a little bit of a musical background where you knew how to play some instruments, you learned the music theory, and then also not only that, you would look at these songs trying to mimic them. And from what I've heard also from other artists is like to have a certain song, if you were going to become a producer,
Yeah.
you would be having to mimic the song, try to make it how it is, and then from there you can have like a remix. But it's cool to see that it's also similar. Is this something that they told you in a DJ school to kind of approach it like this, or how does one go into like a DJ school, and is it something local or is it more about international DJ school?
Well, it's more local. I think like 90 something percent of the students are Japanese, but there are some international students as well. There's about one or two teachers who could speak English, so they're still there now, so they can teach in English. And yeah, so it's more of like DJ school rather than production school. So they need to teach you stuff like beat matching, maybe some looping effects, like different kind of scratching as well. So kind of those kind of essential DJ skills.
That's cool. How long is the DJ school here?
Well, it's the basic plan is 48 hours, so you pay. I'm not sure what's the price now, but it wasn't that expensive. It was cheaper than getting a car license by a lot. So maybe half the price of a car license, you could get into the DJ school and you get like 48 hours of credits. Um, Most people probably finish within the 48 hours, but even if you don't, you can add more credits until you graduate.
That's sweet. So basically, it's like you kind of pay as you go with the schooling, and if you
Yep.
need more, then
Yep,
you
and
can
if you
just
need
go
less,
from
you
there.
can But if you need less, you don't get a refund, but you can use like other
Cool.
stuff. Like I finished mine early, so I learned scratching and other like looping effects and all that.
Cool. Do you think that in Japan, because out in America, so we have to. I mean, there's not too many like DJ schools I know in America. Like when I would go on like for myself, like if I went and I want to learn how to DJ, we would go like on like YouTube or like pay like an online course, and then from there out in the states, you would essentially go to your scene, like go to the
Mm-hmm.
clubs, meet the DJ somehow, just kind of be a part of the community.
Mm-hmm.
Would you say here, if you were to go to these DJs and meet them at their like residence, would is it kind of similar where they're more welcoming, or is there like a big barrier to be able to be a part of that like scene?
I think it's not a big barrier, like especially if you start with smaller clubs or like smaller bars where the DJ are less busy, so they are usually on the floor talking to new people, getting to know, their fans and like your music preferences because the DJ has to play according to the floor. So it's not that hard. I think like even if you didn't go to a DJ school, the right way would be to support events and talk to the DJ at the events, and maybe a lot of the times like some of the guests that want to become a DJ and they just talk, and then sometimes the DJ will teach them. That depends on um, the person, but I've seen a lot of those cases. The DJ teaches the one of the customers, and then the customer eventually becomes a DJ.
That's sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you guys don't know, when I came to Japan, Youliang played at one of the top clubs in the world for like Mag 100, DJ Mag 100. It's a certain branding where they rank clubs around the world, and it was Camelot, right?
No, it was Octagon.
Octagon,
Yeah.
Octagon. And so it's one of the ways that how we met as well as like from Instagram, and kind of went to her gig, saw the club, and it's mind blowing how club culture is here. Um, Especially how even on the weekdays, like yesterday, um, when I had the gig at Jumanji,
Yeah.
they're
Mm-hmm.
open till like
7
7 in the
in the
morning,
morning. Yeah.
which is nuts. I mean, yeah, like we have a few in Chicago, um, but to have it on the weekdays too, is that like something that's in Shibuya and um, cities around it, or is it somewhere where it's like in those two cities they have these like club cultures where it's just kind of like all week, 364 days of the year?
Yeah, I guess it depends on like the theme of the club and as well as the barrier to entry for the club. For the Jumanji group, Jumanji and Neverland, they are both open from 8 p.m. at night, and then for the Neverland they end at 5, but Jumanji they end at 7. So it's a pretty long night, and those are the only two clubs that since many years ago they allow people 18 years of age and above to enter the clubs. Um, Nowadays there's more clubs like that, but normal clubs usually only allow 20 plus years old to enter. So most young people they can only go to these two clubs, and it was very popular back then.
So now it's like more of a 18 up type of vibe, because in back in America we have to be, it's like 21,
Yeah.
it's 21 and up. So the drinking age would be like, what is there a drinking
Yep, the
age lower
drinking age
here?
is 20.
20 and up. Okay,
Yep.
cool. So it seems to be a little bit more welcoming, but what's also like was mind blowing coming here was like how safe it is. There's if there's someone not feeling well, or is there something that where even people are like passing on the street, like we saw one passed out and we just kind of walked, and that policeman was next to him and just made sure everything was okay. But it seems like they're just a more welcoming kind of community and also like safety to it. Do you think that club culture here is very social? Is it more like people are in their own groups and they're partying with their friends, or is it like you go out and you meet people? Because I do know that sometimes you can see as like different cultures being like less welcoming, less
Mhm.
social.
Well, I guess it depends on the club as well. Like for example, Jumanji, they are known for Teasobi, which is like they are mostly TikTokers, and they have like the kind of dance where they move their hands along with, like, they properly dance to the song, kinda like dancers kind of thing. So in that case, you go there, you can meet other people who also like the same Teasobi, which is the same dance as you, and you can make friends that way. Or you could, like, let's say if you go to like a club like maybe firstly it's too noisy to even talk to people because the sound is
Yeah, that's a
booming and you
tough
cannot hear
thing.
anything. So in that case, they just party and enjoy with their friends or enjoy with themselves, like enjoy with the other party goers. So those kind of places, the objective is not to talk but just to enjoy the music. Whereas you go, but if let's say if you go to like maybe WAP or something, there are some parts that you can talk and some parts where it's for dancing, so you can move around, and depending on your mood, you can choose what you wanna do.
Wow. Yeah, I would say that the loud music does not help. But there's a place because me and Youliang went to her place, her residence spot, or a place to DJ at. And the next day, we went to you can say C La Vie.
Yeah, c'est la vie.
So there's seems to be like from what we've seen, there's some have more foreigners,
Mm.
others that kind of just more local, but it's cool how there's a place for everyone.
Yeah, yeah, that's correct. Like, I guess it's also like depends on the price point and like how much people are willing to pay, and like what's the objective, I guess.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So, what do you say, like seeing artists or EDM artists? Is there a lot of like EDM shows in the area? Like, is there a big EDM scene here?
I wouldn't say it's that big. Most clubs actually they are oriented towards hip hop, like open format clubs mostly, and mostly hip hop. So, if you want to go to EDM clubs, I guess the only ones now are like Atom, WAP, and Octagon maybe. Yeah, Octagon's also EDM. There's not that many EDM clubs, I think.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, back in Chicago, it's like very house. Some places are minimal house. But from seeing only what we've seen a little bit, it seems like the scene really loves like progressive house, knock to like kind of like a little bass housey, and it's very lyrical.
Yeah.
Would you say is like your music kind of goes in line with that? Where are you making like originals, or is there anything you're working on right now where it's like um, something that is inspired from like from the states, or like certain genres, or not only genres but artists?
Well, for me, before I started becoming a DJ, a club DJ in specific, I was making like house music that's more oriented for the radio, more for easy listening, and like don't have crazy build ups and crazy drops. Like those progressive house that you hear from maybe Martin Garrix and all those big artists. But my music was more towards like maybe Ben Boma, like steady tempo, steady energy back then. But when I started my residency at Jumanji back about 2 years ago, I realized that I couldn't play any of my songs in the club because none of them, no one would dance to them, and there's no place you can slot them in. Like, you can't just kind of, the energy doesn't fit. So I started making more high energy songs so I can play in my sets, and that's how I started making hardstyle trance as well, so I can slot in between the popular songs, and people did dance to them as well. So kind of more inspired by the club scene, I guess.
Just kind of more high energy, keeping people going. That's a cool. Is it like where your work project you're working on now, is there a song that you're going to be releasing soon, or anything that you have released in the past couple of weeks or so that you can tell us about, where we can understand like where we can even listen to it, because maybe some people don't know um, all these platforms you have, because I've seen how you even have like a Wikipedia page, or Spotify looks your spot. You have great Spotify listeners. It's organic. Um, you have a good following. So it's, is there any like places where we could see your music, or and there's or anything where we can see like your upcoming projects?
Well, my music's on my on the major platforms. So like Spotify, Apple Music, Beatport, you can find it anywhere there. And as for upcoming projects, sometimes I post what I'm working on the Instagram stories. Sometimes I don't, like depends on my mood. So yeah, and my upcoming releases, on Friday I'm releasing a trance track on label called New Static Sounds, and it's uplifting trance track with 145 BPM, so kinda towards peak time trance that you can play in any set. There's also vocals, which is what I'm tend to recently, like vocals, so you can play in like your open format sets as well probably. And in 2 weeks after that, I'll be releasing house track that I worked on over a year ago, but I managed to find a label for it now. And the house track is more classic house. Like it could be, it's like in the middle of bass house and tech house, so I just called it classic house because I didn't know what genre to put it in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
these genres typically they start blending in, and next thing you know, it's something that is just your style. So you were mentioning how you are releasing these songs. Are labels like a big thing, like where you are destined to have to release things on labels to reach the bigger audiences? Because I would say like a lot of these artists nowadays, we think we need a label. We need to get in touch with some label to make it big, and that's kind of where it's seen to give the big trajectory to reach bigger crowds. Um, and I don't think that also for the people that have been there for like, double digits, where they have a community, they can release things by themselves. But when you're first starting, it can seem like you need that label. Is it the music to reach people here? Is that label determination, is that something that's huge, or is things like more released individually? What would you think?
No, I think it's more like it can be described as a bell curve. So if you are just starting out or if you are super popular, you'll probably choose to release on your own because most labels, they will not take your music if you don't have a track record yet. Most decent labels at least. So you gotta start putting up music maybe on SoundCloud or maybe just by a tune call, CD Baby, many different kind of self-release distros out there. You can just put out your music basically and see what you get. So I start out that way as well. I made house music and I like deep house on via TuneCore, and a lot of some people from Spain discovered my music and they started playing it. So yeah, it's kind of based on
It's
luck, I
wild.
guess. Yeah.
It's
So
so wild. Yeah. I mean, especially Japan, and where its place, you guys are like in a sweet spot of like being able to influence so many different countries. Unlike America, I mean, yeah, we reach out to a lot of people. Like I definitely noticed the clubs have a lot of American music, um, and that is not like something I think I would like expect, where you are hearing like a lot of American music. But I would say like being in here and having people from Spain or whichever region play your music is absolutely, it's really cool to see. Um, would you say that a lot of people from like other countries come and DJ here and they kind of start in Japan and leave Japan, or do you think that even people in Japan they will just DJ here and they kind of just stay and they kind of just play in this, in the big cities? What do you think
No, I
those two
think that
things
there are
are?
two. Firstly, there are two main types of DJ. One is festival DJ. Another one is club DJ. I mean, there are obviously many other types like bar, radio DJ, but let's just focus on these two. So, like those aiming for festivals, they cannot just be club DJ. Like they have to be like the top club DJ, or they have to um live overseas for a period of time and come back. Like I see most of them they do that, or they are like the sound producer of a certain club and they get hired to um, appear in festivals like ultra music festivals. So you kind of have to be someone in order to play in festivals. Whereas as a club DJ, for if you just aiming for club DJ, you don't have to. The main thing is consistency and like just showing up. So if you keep showing up consistently and playing consistently, maybe over a few years, you'll eventually become a resident DJ and you can make it your living if you want to. Like, yeah, so I think it's kind of those kind of two different kinds of
Really
DJs.
just matters what you want.
Yeah.
What are you are reaching for in your kind of journey with the music? Are you looking to be club DJs or festival? Because I would say, like, at least the advice I've gotten um, in seminars, like one of these seminars, Two Friends?
No, actually.
Two Friends? You don't know Two
No,
Friends?
I don't.
Oh, man. No, they're kind of big in America. Two Friends is like they like mash up artists, but they also have originals. Like they started with like these big booty mixes, stuff like that. So it's like you have a instrumental of like one song, and then you place it with like a popular like pop or like songs that are big for Caucasians or rap or stuff like that. So then they would make like a big mix of like these different instrumentals that should have a different acapella and layer it with instead of that acapella now with a one that's something that's like, well, didn't think that would go together, right? So what I was saying is I was in a seminar from a buddy, D-Rock, great guy. And they had the two friends, artist in relations or manager. I think it was manager. He was manager, yeah. And he was saying how if you want to be an artist in America, you would have to stop taking gigs and start producing production. Um, but you would say here it's like a mixture of both. It seems like, right?
Yeah, I think here it's actually not important to make music in Japan. Like mm, I found that most of the DJs like whether house techno they don't really make music at all and yet they can play in festivals. So I think it's more like the DJ skills and like maybe your curation skills as well as networking, I guess. So less of music production is needed here. Yeah.
It's super cool. Um, there's definitely a big range of like skill here because I remember going to see the openers at the club you're playing at. And they were pretty good, and then going to C'est la vie, I should
Yeah.
say, right? Um, and as the night went progressed there, the technical skills were there's scratching, there's wordplay. I mean, they're doing it's open format there, but they had some EDM going to. Um, there is definitely like a technical skill aspect here that I really do appreciate because I think that sometimes we aren't as inclined to do that. A lot of people just do a little beat matching, a little like sound effects. They're adding some sound color stuff like that. But here, it's really cool to see how people are technical. So there definitely is a cool thing. Because you mentioned
Yeah.
at Celavi, this guy we saw was playing at Ultra.
Oh yeah,
Um,
Two Wasted was there. He played Ultra a few years in a row.
yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't really make music, but he make mashups that are very cool. Like he make like
Oh,
one of his mashup was I think Utaga Hikaru. It's a Japanese artist song, and he makes mashup if I think I can't remember the song, was another famous English song, and it became like very emotional song. It was
Hmm.
an emotional song at first, but he made it like international, so people who don't understand the Japanese, they can also listen to the English part of the lyrics, which basically say the same thing. I
Yeah,
think it's pretty cool.
yeah, I like the Japanese music. Music is cool. Which the one that pops out to me that keeps on playing is ATP. That one is a good catchy one. I do enjoy that a lot.
APT.
APT,
Yep.
APT, yeah, APT is like,
Yes.
but there's definitely I hear, I mean, the ones with more Japanese folks, there's definitely more Japanese music. So I would say playing like for myself, like playing in that scene, I had to kind of see like what music stuck because first start with like some little bit of house music, and you said like back in Chicago will go crazy, Chicago will be
Yeah.
crazy, but then here it's like it doesn't hit as hard, so then it's like you gotta go more high energy, then went to like a little bit of like bass house and a little bit of like more progressive house,
Yeah.
like some retro vision things. Um, so from like coming from the club scene to producer, are you more focused on not doing any residencies, or are you like in some residencies right now, or just kind of like taking gigs as they come?
Well, up to December last year, I was in like four residencies at the same time. So
That's a
I was
lot.
playing like on Mondays I was in Neverland, Thursdays I was in Jumanji, and other days are like 3 times, 2 to 3 times a week. I was at T2 Shinjuku, and then I was at Celavia. So also like many different clubs at the same time. I was like DJing 6 or 7 times a week. But I realized that well, firstly I got burnt out, and then I realized that it wasn't
Yeah.
really taking me anywhere. Like I could probably reach the top of the club scene if I did that for maybe another 5 years or so, to probably become the top resident DJ that way. But I didn't want that. I wanted to play at festivals, and I realized that the difference between club DJs and festival DJs, the important difference is that festival DJs, they all have their own music. So if you want to play on the main stage of a festival, you have to have your own music. And so I started to focus more on productions rather than just um, song selection and like DJ skills.
Yeah, I feel it's so interesting. Uh, so seeing different, like just seeing different podcasts in different regions and how people talk about their journey, it always comes to we start these clubs, we start doing gigs. I don't love the music. We start doing these gigs, we start just getting deeper and deeper into music, and you start to realize um, you have to learn production. I've been there, DJing multiple times a week. It definitely does do a ton of body, especially having daytime jobs like or nighttime jobs. I mean, some people work night shift like myself, but big thing is you realize you want to take that next step up because it is obtainable. Where we think you can't make it to these clubs, and then it happens, and you're just like, why did I put my goal here when you can just go up. You can reach points where you didn't even think were possible. I mean, you've reached your spot. I mean, doing some research on you. Your Spotify is in the 5 digits. Yeah, five, and that's impressive. That's hard. That's really hard as an artist to have something where you have Spotify listeners consistently, especially hitting the 20, 40,000. That's incredibly hard. So yeah, so you would say that in the past year or 2 to 3 years, you've been focusing on production skills. Um, do you learn production from a class or YouTube, or like how did you learn?
Mostly YouTube actually. I started maybe in like 2016 or so. I started electronic music production back then, so mostly making like house remixes, just adding four on the floor beats and seeing how much I can um, make it danceable. and like kinda, it's kinda hard to explain. I also did like tutorial as well. Is I recommend it. It's tutorial that teaches how to create recreate a sound that you hear. Just a synthesizer tutorial that um basically if you want to hear a song like, let's say, uh maybe like RPG levels, you want to create the melody, so you know how to, you can listen to the melody and you know what keys to hit, but you can't make the exact same sound. Then you put, it means that you have to use a synthesizer and change the maybe change the square waves to pulse wave, and like change different kind of settings, and um emulate the sound basically, so you can emulate any sound you want after you finish the course, which I think is a big part of music production. Learning to copy other artist sounds and basically making your own after that.
Wow. Yeah, I would say that you're doing great. You're in Japan. You came here from Singapore and you made a name for yourself. That's amazing. And you've definitely have reached different audiences. Would you say you would want to end up with these lessons you learned from music production, from the clubs, from playing just instruments? Would you want to ever go to like, is it a dream for like the culture here to go to America or like move to Chicago, Miami, and maybe get a residency or like in Las Vegas and then play the music festivals. There, I'm unsure if there's a lot of music festivals in Japan. I know in Chicago, I mean, you got like Lollapalooza, of course, it's a very known one, North Coast, Arc, so many. Those are like one of the top ones. Um, but would you say you'd want to go towards that route where you can be in America and move there?
Well, I'd say that firstly, a lot of the top DJs here who get booked as guest DJs, they mostly have live overseas, and most of them are Europe, some of them are America as well. So like one of the artists I really respect is Shingo Nakamura-san. He is what which part America is San Francisco. Like he
Mm,
goes to and from there, and he has like I think 150 million, was it? I'm not sure, maybe like 12 million listeners. I don't know.
sheesh.
It's like crazy amount of
Yeah,
listeners on Spotify. So it's pretty big progressive house artist, and not the EDM kind of progressive house, but normal progressive house. So I think that it is important that at some point of my career I sort of move somewhere else. I haven't thought of where yet. Maybe Amsterdam or somewhere, and go there maybe for like
man,
1 year or
Amsterdam would be
2 year and come
sweet.
back. Yeah, so
That'd be
something.
really cool. I haven't seen Amsterdam seen that much. I only went there for like 24 hours, 36 hours. But I'm guessing, I mean, considering like Malp's his style, they would be up to that alley of like house music, I'm guessing.
Yeah, tech house, techno, I think.
Oh yeah, I gotta listen to tech house and techno. I definitely would love to, keep on seeing your journey and making sure that you are like giving the platform where you can tell everyone where you can get these things, where you're updating them and stuff. Is there any like socials or stuff like that you like to share to people where they can at least find your music? Um, and maybe your Instagram. Would you be able to share that to everyone too if you like?
Yeah, you can follow me on Instagram at Ko Youliang. So KOHYOULIANG. So I update my Instagram at least once a week. Um, and I try to post stories maybe every day, so can catch up my life and maybe see what kind of music I make.
Yeah, if you
Yeah.
guys are ever in Japan, she's great. Taking a chance to even show us around a little bit. Me and my friend are traveling, um, and kind of see the scene. You guys are oblivious to that. But thing is, one of the most welcoming artists I met here in Japan. I would say in America, people are kind of there's a barrier where you have to gain respect and stuff, and you have to also like kind of sometimes even be like local. Some people are more gatekeepy, some people are more welcoming, but it seems like here people seem to be just kind of like, at least to our faces, very kind and welcoming. Um, would you say that sometimes like you guys experience that too, even which the position you're in, or now that you have like some years to the game, you pretty much are tied in? But really, what I'm trying to ask is, now that you're here now, is it just kind of more easier to get to those clubs, and now it's something where you are just kind of like you're you're officially in this? Would you say that's like kind of where you are at right now?
Yeah, I guess I'm officially in this like. What was the question again?
Basically, like you are a part of the culture, and it's easy for you to be here, and be getting to the clubs. But in the beginning, was it more difficult to get those gigs, like starting in Jumanji or like Netherlands?
Yeah, in the beginning was harder. Like um, I didn't understand the concept of the club hierarchy, and I probably offended a few people. So it was kind of rough start, but I stuck to it. I stuck to the same club for over 2 years, and they kind of saw my dedication and sincerity, and that's how I got them on my side, and now we are good friends.
Yeah, messing up is a tough thing. I remember my first one, my first residency. It was back in college, and yeah, you can grow and you can listen to the music, and you can be in that club or like bar, and you can understand it. But then whenever you're DJing and you're learning how to make an experience, make peaks and valleys, it's hard. But at least everyone knows mistakes happen, but you learn and you keep on progressing. And look at you now, so that's awesome. But really appreciate you and all you've done for myself and my friend who's traveling with me. And you've made us fall in love with Japan. Hopefully other people get to reach out to you and connect with you and just kind of grow together. That'd be awesome. We really appreciate your time. You're
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah, thank
And
you.
yeah, if there's any like last words you want to tell anyone or anything like that.
Mm, it was nice meeting you, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your journey as well.
Oh yeah, it'd be awesome. Well, thank you guys, and thank you guys for listening. Youlang's awesome. Hope you guys learned some things about Japan, and also the music culture, how things are kind of compared, or that things are even deferred in ways that are not common in your guys' countries or states. But episode one in the books.
Yeah,
You're awesome.
yep.
Appreciate you. And yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this. Cheers.
Yes.